Hi there, I'm Lou,
Hi, I'm John.
and welcome to these go heart to heart. You'll find that sometimes you'll get articles from us in the week, and often you get videos. They're completely unscripted, which you will spot very quickly. It's just us really talking from our kitchen, and subject today is living in the not yet. But shall we get any other business out of the way first?
Yeah. Let's do some notices and
Okay.
stuff. And
Yeah.
okay, what's our notices?
Well,
Right.
first of all, don't forget Beauty for Ashes. Now, Beauty for Ashes, both John and I would say, in terms of our personal testimony, that our spiritual life was extremely important in terms of us getting through what we went through. And that is true for a lot of people. It's quite accepted in the addiction field. So we have a site called Beauty for Ashes that is there, and we go into that quite comprehensively. If you don't want to do life alone and you'd like to explore the idea that you don't have to, then we really invite you to come across and use that as a resource.
Yeah, we tackle a lot of sort of difficult subjects over there, and we just talk very sort of much from our heart, we're not preaching at you. If you want to go and have a look at it and you might get some comfort from it, then great. If it's not your thing,
Yeah.
then that's up to
Can I just say, I hate telling people I'm a Christian, because I know immediately they're going to go into a whole load of stuff in their head which has got nothing to do with kind of what I believe. There's a lot, when fundamentals get hold of Christianity, it's a nightmare, and there's a lot of caricature. So we do tackle.
And the reason we think that is because before we were Christians, we used to think all these things. We used to think,
we did.
I'm a Christian. Oh, bye. I'll go and talk to somebody interesting.
Yeah. So we tackle that first, actually, all the different kind of hurdles you have to go through to even coming at it with an open
Absolutely.
mind.
Yeah. We were rent-a-skeptics, so and we're not too scared to say that.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Beauty for Ashes.
Yep. There's a link down below if you want to go to Beauty for Ashes.
Sure.
Okay.
John has his own private practice.
Yes.
And because of what's happening financially in the world, there's two prices that you can select. I have to say, I will admit this here, that I kind of thought that people would actually abuse that and always go for the cheaper price, but people haven't, and I've had to swallow my skepticism there.
I'm kind of surprised myself. What I decided was, because of coronavirus, I knew a lot of people were struggling, sort of struggling financially, struggling sort of psychologically, emotionally, etc. I thought, okay, well, I'll do it half price. And I fully expected an awful lot of people to turn up and use half price, but they didn't, and thank you for that. It's fantastic. I am really chuffed. I'm slightly surprised, and I do admire you for doing that. So thank you so much.
Can I say, though, we would never, as people, want you to not get the care you want because you are struggling.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely.
So
that's the reason why we did it in the first place, But there's quite a lot of people turning up, either, from the family side or from the drinker side, and I've been working with quite a number of people, and that's been a real privilege. So again, thank you for the people who have turned up and allowed me to help them.
I've got my own private practice where I've got a lot of clients kind of, so John kind of does that area.
Yeah.
But though I say it myself, he's good.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you want to come and sort of talk to me or allow me to try and help you, then again, there's a link down below.
Yeah, you book up online, don't you? And
Yes, there's a link to my calendar, and then you can book it in some time.
Sure. And then finally, we're always touched when people kind of buy into the chain of care. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, the chain of care, it's something that we sort of started some time ago. It's about thinking about other people, and not just about ourselves. And therefore, what we had asked people to do is we decided that we would give the website for free. You know, that's our part of the chain of care. And if you got something from it, then, you know, you could make a donation so that the next person could get it free, and the next person after, etc., etc. So we could just keep the thing going. So thank you to every single person who has given to us, whether it be a small donation or a large donation. We thank you, every single one of you, because we really appreciate it.
And it all goes back into
Absolutely.
Anything you give is somebody else in 6 months' time finding the site.
Yeah, believe it or not, there are quite a lot of expenses in regard to running a site like this. You know, I'm not going to show you my books, but they are there, you know, and we have to pay for them all the time, you know. So yeah, everything you give us helps us to do that.
Yeah. So thank you very much.
The other part of the chain of care is, I believe, is in the forum.
Sure.
It's about giving, it's about helping other people. That's what the whole chain of care is about. It's about helping other people, now whether that's financially or whether, and somebody's just run us, you know. So
I'm just going to you keep talking.
yeah, I'll keep talking because, you know.
This is real life, this is our
Yeah, normally we would switch the phone off, but unfortunately we forgot to do that, you know. So sorry about that. Anyway, the chain of care is about helping other people, whether, as I say, it's financially or whether it's, you know, emotionally. But it's, and there's quite a lot of that going on, particularly in the family forum. We'd like to see a wee bit more of it in the drinkers forum. You know, there's been the odd sort of sporadic post, but it's there. It's a tool for you to use. And it can be extremely helpful and it can be extremely powerful. So that's part of the chain of care.
Okay, I'm back.
She's back.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to talk about...
Is that the president again, was it?
Oh, yes, I know, he just keeps ringing.
Oh, I know. Yeah, he's not getting our vote this year.
I don't think we should have said that.
We probably shouldn't have.
We can tell that we're in the UK.
Yeah, so he couldn't get our vote anyway, even if he wanted to.
Right. So what we're going to say now is...
Good question, yeah.
I was thinking about COVID and how kind of black and white it seemed to be to start off with. We were in lockdown, and we kind of got the impression that then there'd be an out. You know, in is safe until you can go, out is safe. And so everything seemed different, but kind of we knew where we are.
Yeah, it felt as if it was going to be very time limited.
Yeah.
You know, we all went into lockdown thinking, yeah, we can manage this for a week or two, and oh gosh, another month, and another one, and another one, and another one, and here we are, 5 months? 5 months later, and we're still, there's no real end in sight. You know, okay, there's a wee bit loosening of the lockdown, but you know, there's still people wearing masks in the street, avoiding each other. There's still deaths, you know.
So what we hope for just becomes something like, you know, we hoped for a vaccine, there will be a vaccine. It's been interesting for me because I'm kind of someone who's, I'm structured, and I kind of like to know where I am. And I've had to really adapt in this because our holidays, you know, for a while we looked at it, shall we get it? No, we can't obviously do that. Now we're looking at something else. And so we're living in what's called transition in the not yet.
Can I just say, you haven't wandered into a sort of government sort of broadcast about COVID. There is a point to this, and we are about to get to it. You know?
Well, I was just getting to it.
No, I know she was getting to it, but it's just in case, you know. I'm just filling the viewers in.
Yeah. Where I'm going to put it as a parallel is that when we come to this site, and generally if we're a family of a drinker or even a drinker, the goal is the out. It's getting to the point where it's all done and it's all finished. And that's what we look at. But actually the reality is that goal often shifts. And if we just keep our eye on the goal and don't live in the now, then, you know, we become people who will only be happy when. And I think that what I'm having to learn through COVID, and I think we're all having to learn, is to live with the uncertainty and the not yet. And as a family, living in a family of a drinker, that welcomes my life.
I think it's a great analogy. I mean, I really do. You know, and I think it kind of, it's so sort of now, it's so current, you know, that yes, you can actually start to understand that. Because, you know, a lot of people come you know, we used to say this years ago, people come looking for the pixie dust, you know, that everything's going to be okay, we're just going to get that sort of bon mot, that word, that phrase, you know, that action that's going to just change everything, and it's going to change overnight. And unfortunately, that doesn't always happen. In fact, it doesn't often happen. Often there's a long period. And I think we went into COVID with the same idea, you know, that, you know, next week somebody's going to come up with a vaccine and everything's going to be back to normal. And, you know, whatever normal's going to be, we just don't know. And Lou makes a fantastic point that the two of these are very much in parallel. What we've done is we've adapted to the now. You know, we've adapted to this is what it is. And we've had to take a very pragmatic approach.
Just a day at a time, a week at a time, you know, which is how we need to live, I think. I'm going to talk first of all about family of drinkers.
Yep.
And the reason why we start with you is because we know, if you're not careful, you're kind of holding your emotional and mental breath until this person that's causing chaos in your household has stopped doing it. But actually, there is a lot of process that goes on between what's happening and that goal. And so we actually teach you again how to live for yourself in the now and have a life. We're still waiting for all your solutions to happen. So please don't skip through that bit, because that bit is absolutely crucial. And you will get the hang of it. You will get the hang of it. And actually, I think we say and believe the better you are at living your life and not doing your drinker's dance, the more likely he is to stop the dance and start another one.
Absolutely. You know, we've talked about the dance before. You know, the drinker is leading the dance, you know, whether it be the husband, wife, son, daughter, you know, father, you know, mother. That drinker is leading the dance, and you live your life accordingly. So you are kind of reacting to that, you know. But if you stop reacting to that and start leading the dance yourself, then there's a bit of confusion for a while. But very often what happens is that there's, what's going on here? Maybe I better change, you know, because they're not getting the reactions that they used to be. And that's important. That's really important.
I kind of have my own version of this, the Slimming World, for quite a long time. And what I would do is, if I would have a bad day, I kind of blow the whole week, you know, and kind of take my week from that moment. And that kind of goes on a bit with drinking. Can I ask you, as a professor, can you put your professor head on?
Excuse me. Yes,
What's the statistics of false starts that a drinker has before he manages to stay sober? Or can you say something about that, sober?
Yeah, I could say quite a lot about it. Whether I could actually say, you know, what the statistic is. Statistics depend on who you're talking to.
Okay, so it varies.
Yeah, it varies a lot. But I mean, they reckon somewhere between 6 and 7.
Okay.
You know, that's a kind of rule of thumb. But that's 6 or 7 serious attempts. The serious attempts. Okay. Now, that's an average. I mean, some people get it in the first one. Some people get it in the 15th one. You know, I mean, it's for me, I can't remember how many serious attempts I had, but there was quite a few.
So for the drinker, what does living in the not yet mean? Not giving up, I suppose, and recognising that they will get there in the end.
Living in the not yet is that when you, I mean, first of all, can I say, you know, when a drinker says, all right, that's it, I'm stopped drinking, you know, most of the time they're not lying.
No, they mean it at that moment.
Oh, they absolutely mean it, you know, hand in heart, yes, I promised to stop. And they really do mean it. And the number of times I said that and really, really meant it. And it's really quite disheartening to the, you know, it's crushing to the family, but it's really disheartening to the drinker as well, because I really tried this time and somehow or another I just could not keep going. And you're sort of talking about Slimming World, about blowing the week. Yep. There's a saying in around the drinking field, you know, there's don't let a lapse become a collapse. In other words, don't let, you know, one slip sort of spoil the whole week. Because I used to say, well, that's it. you know, it's done now. Right, off I go, you know, and off I would go, and I would be on another binge. Whereas, you know, it's seeing that for what it was. Go, oh right, okay, I fell over again. Right, do it. For a wee while there, I took up running, and I hate running. You know, I love having run, but I hate running. I really do. You know, it's if I could do it on the couch, I would do it. You know, but I can't. So anyway, I started to follow this, you know, Couch to 5K, and it's a program that's laid out, run 3 times a week, and run X amount. You know, so I started it. And I did okay for a couple of weeks, and then I missed a day, and I felt terrible about missing a day, you know. But I caught up again, and then I missed a day, and then I caught up again. But what I did was I kept going, you know. I got to the end of the program, you know. Still hate running, but I mean that's another matter. The thing is, it's keeping going. Okay, I fell off there, but I can get back up again. I can get back up again. I can get back up again. You know, if somebody's riding a bike and they fall off, they don't. That's it. I'm never getting back on the bike.
And I know it's really hard, but to really understand that, if you're a family of a drinker, I know what it's like to feel bitter and disappointed and disillusioned. You know, but in the end, I use my scorn almost like a whip. And when kind of my husband would say, "Oh, I will stop," and I do look back. Now, he died of cancer, and there's conversations I would really, really like to have. And one of those with my drink, you know, with Steve, is I'm sorry the scorn I poured on you. Because I was abused as a child, so I had rage inside of me, and I projected that on my husband. And looking back, I know it didn't help. And probably if I just sat there saying, look, I know you can do this, Steve. I know you haven't done it this time, but I know you can. I sometimes wonder where we would have ended up.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But it's totally understandable.
Absolutely,
it's understandable
yeah.
because you're hurt, you're frustrated,
Sure.
you know, and sometimes you become really frustrated because you can see the person that's there, you know, underneath that drinking, and you can't do anything about it. So it's totally understandable, but it's totally ineffective.
Yeah.
In fact, it might even be counterproductive.
Yeah.
You know, because it's not just counterproductive for the drinker, because the drinker goes into, oh, well, that's it. I might as well, you know, I'm a terrible person. You've just told me that, so I might as well prove it. There's that part of it, but the other part of it is you feel bad because you've actually said all this stuff. You know, you've got all this invective out. It felt really good at the time, but feels really bad afterwards.
Yes.
You know?
So be kind to yourself, because I mean, I just
absolutely.
owned the fact that I did it for years and years, you know. So, but it doesn't get your needs met, and so there's a point. So
that's what Bottled Up is all about. It's about showing you a different way.
Yeah, and get on the forum. You know, we don't want it to be just a kind of a dung heap of bitterness and resentment, but dump if you need to. Just say, I need to dump because I feel so angry, you know, and talk to people, because it's better to talk to people that understand than actually to land it on your drinker who already feels absolutely crap anyway.
And it's the same with the drinkers. I mean, use the forum. You know, the Alcoholics Anonymous is sort of based on people sharing.
Yeah.
It's supposedly the most successful organisation in the world in terms of helping people give up drinking. I don't know if that's true, but it's certainly the biggest. So, you know, and that's all about sharing.
Yeah.
One person sharing to another person.
Yeah. So our points are, first of all, make sure that whilst you're waiting for the end goal, which is for your family to be rid of this awful thing called alcohol, make sure you live your life in the not yet. If you're a drinker, then don't be discouraged when you fall. Don't turn the lapse into a collapse. Know that you will get there in the end.
You're in the not yet as well. You're
Absolutely.
not quite got there yet.
Yeah. You know? And if you're living with your drinker, believe that he can make it, she can make it. Try not to pour your scorn. Try and put it somewhere else, but be kind to yourself if you do, because what's going on would try the patience of a saint. So we give you... we give you, what's the word I'm looking for, strategies.
Yeah.
And we tell you the best way of working, but please don't go into guilt, you know, because it is really hard sometimes to put these things into practice. It takes time, and you've got to be really kind to yourself whilst you're learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One depiction of change, which is actually really good. You know, I remember there's two American psychologists, and they said this is what change looks like. And originally they did it as a straight line. They thought that doesn't really happen, you know, because people keep falling off. Then they did it as a circle, but that doesn't really work as well. So they did it as a spiral. And what they were showing in this spiral was that, you know, each sort of loop of the spiral, you get closer and closer and closer to change, because you learn by your mistakes, you know, or your mistakes make an impact for the next time and the next time and the next time, and you get closer. So there's always hope, always hope. I'm sitting here as living proof of it. You know,
6 months to live. He was given.
Yeah.
When he was 33, me 30. Yeah.
I was 34, you know, look at me. I'm 35 and look at me now, you know. Okay, it's been a bit of a hard life.
Don't lie.
Okay, right. Bit more than that, right.
Anyway, thank you for listening.
Yeah.
We love it when you get on the forum. Come and get help with John if you need it. We will check in very regularly. Welcome to the site if you're new, and lots and lots and lots of love.
Okay.
Take care. Your pain is important. Your journey is important to us.
Okay.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.